Okay. Testing. Testing. Are you fucking serious? Okay. So so I just recorded a whole bunch of shit, and my microphone fucking broke. Um, I don't know how to edit videos, so I'll probably, just repeat what I just said. But anyways, so this is a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, so there's this video by Despot of Antrim. The Joker's bank heist plan is terrible. This video is terrible. It's a hot piece of garbage. And I'll tell you why. Now, where was I? So I was talking about what he actually says. This guy, the entire video, all it talks about is probability. And that because of how improbable the success rate of Joker's plan is, means that it's a terrible plan. And that's a bunch of bullshit. So, right now he's talking about this other bank heist. And if I turn on the captions real quick, he's all just talking about chance right here, and all that shit. If I go ahead to the part where he starts talking about,
if you disagree with my estimates of the odds, please let me know why in the comments.
I'll let you know. Calm down.
Conspiratorial integrity. The Joker brings 5 guys in on this job, and none of them can snitch before the heist. On game day,
okay. So I just realized you might be hearing a fucking echo or some shit. So I'm gonna put on my headphones real quick, because I hate that. And let me turn on another setting real quick. My God, is this the right one?
Men have to set up a zip line to the bank building across the street, then zip line onto the bank roof. 3 men enter the bank on the ground floor, then take control of the lobby.
There we go.
1 guy disables the alarm on the roof. The safe cracker then kills the alarm guy, then goes downstairs and cracks the safe. Then the bagman shoots.
Oh yeah. So this part, he's describing how the bank is going, how the bank heist is going, and he's putting probabilities up in the corner. Now, let me let you guys know, he's pulling this shit out of his ass. All those probabilities in the corner, he's pulling that shit out of his ass, because he never explains where he got those probabilities. He doesn't explain them. Like, how is that improbable? Etc. etc. He is just pulling shit out of his ass.
Safe cracker loads the money and brings it to the driver. The bus is a bus. Too much time will have elapsed, and the police will have been informed by someone who entered the bank after her husband is. Too much time will have a building, and the cops will arrive before the Joker can buy the Joker safe. Then the bagman shoots the safe cracker, loads the money, and brings it to the lobby. The Joker then kills the bagman. The bus arrives at exactly the right time. The Joker kills the driver. The bus leaves the bank. The Joker escapes the scene. Timing is extremely important in this plan.
Timing is extremely important in any plan. Let's not forget that in both scenarios, the bank heist he mentioned in the other movie, which I skipped through, so you're gonna have to watch the movie to figure that shit out, or watch his video. I'll link his video. You know what? I'll do him a solid, as if I have any clout. I'll link his video. If I feel like it. Anyways, you'll just have to watch his video. Anyways, so where was I? All right, so he talks about, where is it? Yes, he talked about the timing. The timing is important in any bank heist, right? And
must arrive at exactly the
bank heists also require a lot of planning. I feel like he's just using like buzzwords here, because he mentions don't know.
right
Let me.
time. If it arrives too early, the police will be notified by someone
The police will be
who
notified.
sees a bus sticking out of a bank building.
So, I just recently watched that scene, so I'm like pretty much an expert on it. That was a joke. So, one, Joker. So we don't know if Joker, what research Joker has done on the bank itself. Additionally, but we do know what Gotham is like. We also know that this guy doesn't know how Gotham works because police are notoriously useless in Gotham. Even if, as he says, that Christopher Nolan tried to make a more realistic and gritty Batman story, the police are still fucking useless. They are corrupt and useless. And in every scenario, police take forever to arrive anywhere, to arrive to a situation. This is important and this is also important because in the scene where the guy is hacking into the bank, I gotta find that. Hold up. Let me just do a little. Ah, fuck you cocksucker. Okay. Let me just find that part. Get there.
Stay on the ground! One up, isn't it? Up, isn't it?
There it goes.
Alright. I found it. Hold on.
Makeup. Makeup? Yeah, to scare people. War paint.
Alright, everybody, hands up, heads down! Oh, listen, hands up! No.
Here comes the silent alarm. And there it goes. That's funny, it didn't dial out to nothing.
Okay. So, on the point of the police not getting there quickly, there's a scene in the bank heist. There's a scene where the two guys in Joker masks are on top of the bank, it looks like, and one guy's hacking into the silent alarm. It's very important, and what he says in that scene is very important because he says, funny, it dials a private number. So the silent alarm didn't dial 911, it dialed a private number. Now, because the bank is run by the mob, we're going to assume that the mob received the silent alarm rather than, the police. Okay? So that's definitely going to make the police extremely late for the bank robbery.
And the cops will arrive before the Joker can escape. If it arrives too late, too much time will have elapsed and the police will have been informed by someone who entered the bank after the crew, or who heard gunshots from outside, or a wife waiting in a cafe who's wondering why her husband is taking so long at the bank. When a plan involves several time-sensitive critical success factors, its chances of success decline significantly, and the Joker's plan has...
And he keeps talking about chance and, probability here. As if that makes his planning, as if that implies that his planning is less meticulous than the movie leads you to believe. Because in a scenario where things are way more time sensitive and things are more risky, and you require more planning, way more meticulous planning. And considering that the Joker succeeds in his plan, it means that this guy is wrong and that the plan was not stupid because Joker knew what the fuck he was doing.
Has 6 time-sensitive factors. Set up the zip line, zip to the roof,
And he says something really stupid about the zipline shit.
disable the alarm, crack the safe, bag the money, kill the crew, and the bus arrival. With so many things that have to go right, often within a strict time limit, luck is a huge nothing goes wrong. So adding all those together, the chance of the Joker's bank heist...
And see, so he has all these percentages, the chance of success. I guess he compiles them together into a total chance of success right here. And as you'll see, he doesn't explain what any of this means. He doesn't explain how he came to these percentages. He doesn't explain what the percentages mean. He just puts a percentage up, says the Joker's plan has a really low success rate, and that means his plan is terrible.
Succeeding is 0.0441%. If we're generous and round up a little, the Joker's chance of success are 1 in 200. To put that into perspective, Kanye West is getting better odds than that by reputable bookmakers of winning the 2024 presidential election.
Every Hitler.
The first and by far the worst part of the plan is conspiratorial integrity. The Joker has to put together a crew of 5 men who don't know each other.
Which he succeeds in doing.
It is absolutely necessary that they don't know each other because 2 of them will each be secretly tasked with murdering another crew member. The Joker has to choose experienced criminals who can get the job done, but also don't know or don't care that this is a mob bank, and who are...
Which they're... I mean, this is a tough point because it's Gotham. So most criminals are going to be in the mob. And especially experienced criminals are going to be in the mob. But the fact that the Joker in the movie managed to collect... I mean, the fact that the scene happens means that he found the very rare people that he needed for the plan to work. I mean, the people that robbed the bank were very much, were very easily paid off. All of them were promised a sum, and several of them were promised an even higher sum if they killed somebody else. So clearly, he found people that he needed for the plan to work. And he's the Joker. He meticulously plans. He's a mastermind planner, as you know. So clearly he managed to find, and he's a fucking clown prince of crime, dude. Even in this movie he is. So clearly he knows what the fuck he's doing, and he actually succeeded in finding, the people that,
also unlikely to rat out the operation to the feds in exchange for a walk on pending charges or something.
This is a dumb point he makes. He keeps talking about ratting it out, and it's so annoying.
Similar incentive, and this is where the plan falls apart. The robbers the Joker chooses are clearly experienced. They work fast and efficiently and show no sign of nerves. Clearly, they've done this before. With 5 crew members this proficient and experienced, 1 or more of them is very likely to have mob connections, since they can't operate in mob territory without paying tribute to the mob.
So, maybe the Joker found somebody who was willing to turn their back on the mob, or, whatever.
Mob boss on their earnings. Otherwise, they won't have the mob's protection against other criminals. They won't...
And he could have found people that weren't working with the mob, or didn't want the protection from the mob.
Enjoy any of the immunity the mob have paid for through police and political bribes, and of course the mob itself will hunt down any criminal that operates in their territory without permission. Finding 5 experienced criminals in Gotham with no mob connections is extremely unlikely.
He has no basis to make this claim. It's Gotham, buddy. Gotham is literally the hub for criminal activity. Like how Metropolis is the hub for alien activity, Gotham is the hub for criminal activity. You know, like regular human criminals and all that shit, and the occasional weirdos with, you know, superpowers like Bane. But, you know, this is a stupid point because he doesn't take into account where the heist is taking place. He doesn't he doesn't take place what the movie is based on. Batman. Like you're thinking of a comic book movie purely from the perspective of real life, which is something you can't do. In a real life city, this plan sucks. But in Gotham, even by Christopher Nolan standard, it doesn't suck.
Likely, and if they are connected to the mob, they'll probably rat the operation out to the mob.
He has no basis for this claim either. Actually, this entire video, he has no basis for any of the claims he makes. He's just rattling his, you know, the shit that comes through to his head right out of his ass.
In exchange for a reward. There's also a good chance that one of the experienced criminals has pending charges against him. If this is the case,
there's a chance. A chance. Clearly, the Joker found somebody who wouldn't do that because the heist fucking happened. The movie showed you it happening, so clearly this is not the case.
Approached for a bank job would be manna from the gods. He could rat out the operation to the feds and get a walk or a considerably reduced sentence. However, if the Joker is extremely careful in selecting the right men for the job, it is possible he can put together the right team. The main problem is that the Joker sabotages his own heist by instructing two of the crew to kill another crew member during...
Actually, he doesn't sabotage his own heist because he still makes off with the fucking money. You know, he still makes off with the money, so clearly he didn't sabotage his own heist.
During the operation, this would almost certainly scare off anyone considering working the bank job. Firstly, because they might not want to kill anyone.
Firstly, they might. All you're doing is talking about probability, bro. You're not using any facts or any basis for your claims. Because clearly the Joker found people who were willing to kill off their other crew members for a higher cut. These are fucking criminals. These are really talented criminals that know what they're doing. That are getting paid shit ton of money. Well, they're not getting paid, but you know, they think they're getting paid a shit ton of money. And they get a higher cut for just killing off a guy after he's useless.
Robbing a bank is one thing, murdering someone is something else.
This is Gotham, and clearly these criminals were willing to kill the other crew members because, as you can see in the movie, they do that.
But the much greater concern for a crew member being asked to murder an associate during a heist is the possibility that he himself will be killed in turn. It is so obvious that a crew member would figure out the Joker's plan to kill the entire crew.
And I don't know if you know this, but they do figure it out. And he mentions it and doesn't say anything about it, so... I mean, he does mention, you know, oh, one guy was smart enough to figure it out. Yeah, there was one smart enough criminal to figure out the Joker's plan, or part of Joker's plan. But the rest are dumb criminals that are focused on this time-sensitive heist and getting a shit ton of money.
Crew that Nolan points it out in the movie.
Oh, this is the part. This is the part.
Told you to kill me as soon as we loaded the cash.
But any experienced criminal, and frankly anyone who isn't a complete moron, would have this figured out the minute the Joker told.
How do you know this? Where's your basis for that? Where's your Where's your evidence? Where's your proof?
And frankly, anyone who isn't a complete moron would have this figured out the minute the Joker told him to kill another crew member. It wouldn't take him until the day of the job to realise the mortal danger he will put himself in if he works this job.
They're dumb criminals who are talented enough to be able to perform a heist and money and greedy enough to accept the money to do it. Clearly, they don't give a shit. Or they're too stupid to figure it out, except for the one guy at the end of the heist who figures out, or he's probably figured out and just kept quiet because he was going to, turn the tables. We don't know. All we know is that the heist happened, and it happened in Gotham. That's it.
At this stage, he would probably just rat out the operation to the feds.
No. And this contradicts, his earlier thing about most criminals being part of the mob. Because even if that was true, which we don't know for sure if that's true, but even if that was true, this would contradict that, because why would any criminal rat them out to the feds? Because that would also get them in trouble with the mob for talking to the feds. You know what I'm saying? So he's contradicting himself.
Or the mob. Even if he just walks away from the job, he's likely to talk about the heist to his friends and associates, and before long, word will get.
If they're criminals, they know that they're gonna get, if they start talking shit, they're gonna get shit thrown at them. Especially if they work for the mob. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Get out. The heist will be a failure before it even starts, and the mob will be looking for the Joker. Bear in mind that the Joker is telling not one, but two robbers to kill another crew member. The chances that both will agree to commit on-the-job murder and that the other three robbers won't rat out the heist are extremely low.
This doesn't matter because he found people that are willing to do that.
The Joker has set up his crew terribly, and it is almost certain that...
No, he hasn't, because he found people that were able to do that. Are you fucking retarded? Are you stupid? Huh? Like, come on, man. You can't say that he set up his crew terribly. You can't say that he set up his crew terribly when the movie shows you that he set up his crew perfectly because they were able to not only pull off the heist, but also commit to the plan of killing their other crew members. You see what I'm saying?
Conspiratorial integrity will collapse. Here is an interview of a former professional thief talking about the problems that arise when you hire too many people for a job.
And the snitches. Somebody's going to snitch somewhere along the line, or somebody was in bed with their wife and they told him what's going on and the wife doesn't like him anymore. The less people that know, the better.
The less people that know, the better. Yeah. So only two people know that they're going to kill another crew member of the heist, according to Despot. I don't know how many people are actually in the heist, but at least two people know that they're going to kill another crew member. One of them, and neither of them know that the other one is going to kill another crew member. They think, all they know is that they're going to kill one other person. That's all they know. Additionally, while it is a risk to bring in more people so that they don't squeal to like a wife or the police if they get caught, that's why his plan is so genius. He got rid of all the other bank robbers by getting them to not only kill each other, but he also killed the last one, so that there are no more witnesses. That's how genius his plan was. This point is mute.
And that's how Rob
Is moot.
should go.
Setting up the zipline should go smoothly, but bear in mind, these are hired thieves, not mountain climbers.
This is a stupid part that he says about the zipline, because he says, these are thieves, not mountain climbers. Dude. He clearly found bank robbers that knew how to work a zipline. You're showing it. You're showing the scene where the bank robber knew how to use a zipline.
It's very unlikely they know what they're doing here, and there's a decent chance they will set up the zipline wrong, forget some of
These guys knew what they were doing, and they knew how to set up the zip line. The Joker probably vetted the people that he was getting to that he was going to use for the heist. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't know what you're talking about.
Fall to their deaths during the zip to the roof, and even if they do this right, there's no guarantee they'll be able to do it quickly, especially since they probably have no experience with zipline.
You don't know that because you literally just showed a pretty much almost the full scene of them performing the zip line quickly and without any trouble.
Entering the bank should go smoothly, although the Joker and 2 crew members do run across the sidewalk and up the steps with their masks on and guns.
It's Gotham, dude. Nobody cares. People get fucking in literally almost every fucking Batman movie, TV show, and comic. Someone gets attacked in an alley, and nobody cares. Everybody just walks on and keeps doing their thing, except for Batman. Batman is the only one that cares about, this shit going on. And Jim Gordon. But, Jim Gordon's not walking by random alleys,
Guns out, which probably isn't a good idea. Taking control of the lobby is the easiest part of the plan. 3 experienced gunmen armed to the teeth will do this no problem. Making everyone hold grenades is also an excellent tactic, especially since the grenades are dummies and can't end up killing any of the crew. But there's always the chance that some guard or overzealous accountant in the middle of a midlife crisis will...
Did you not see the part where they gave all of the people grenades? Not only that, but they're all holding guns. All the bank robbers are holding guns. They're yelling, and they're calm and collected, so they know what they're doing. And him talking about,
show up and make things hard. Nolan does throw...
the people that, the
grenades are dummies and can't end up killing any of the crew. But there's always the chance that some guard or overzealous...
This part, that is a really high stretch. Okay, that is a really big stretch. And, there is such a low chance of that happening, especially in fucking Gotham, where nobody gives a shit. You're grasping at straws, buddy.
Accountant in the middle of a midlife crisis will show up and make things hard. Nolan does throw a bit of drama into the scene by having a mobster working at the bank go after the crew with a shotgun. However, despite the interruption, the Joker is able to maintain effective control of the lobby. Disabling the alarm is another easy win. The main potential problem is time. It might take longer than expected to disable the alarm, which will...
Okay. Were you not paying attention when you saw the part where the guy who clearly knew what the fuck he was doing because he was fucking hacking into the alarm, and did you not watch the scene when he intercepts the silent alarm and prevents it from going out? Did you not? Huh?
The main potential problem is time. It might take longer than expected to disable the alarm, which won't leave enough time to do everything else before the bus arrives. Killing the alarm guy should be fine, assuming the Joker has achieved the near impossible feat of hiring someone smart enough to crack the safe, but also stupid enough to agree to kill a fellow crew member and not realize that he will himself be killed in turn. Possible ways this murder can go wrong is the gun jams, he misses, he wounds but does not kill the alarm guy, the gun backfires, he forgets to turn the safety off, or the alarm guy sees him pull out the gun and stops him.
And here he's just pulling out random shit out of his ass to explain what could go wrong. And that doesn't matter at all, whatsoever. None of that shit matters.
Or the safecracker has a change of heart, runs out of the bank, gives
and
up
this
on
is the most unlikely, so it's probably a joke.
a life of crime and becomes a priest. There's actually quite a lot that can go wrong here. Next,
No. I mean, there is shit that can go wrong, but, not as nearly as much as what you're saying, because Joker knows what he's fucking doing.
the safe has to be cracked. According to USA Safe...
And this part is also stupid. Locksmiths to crack a vault door by professional locksmiths. That's assuming that they're doing, a classic, trying to figure out what the code is or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, figure out how to open the door. But in the scene, you can see that they're not using typical locksmith's shit, you know? The guy has a giant fucking drill. He's drilling into the vault door. So clearly what he's doing is he's taking a few minutes to drill into the vault door, probably to access the mechanism, break the mechanism, and use that to open the door. And clearly, a Joker knew what it would take to open that vault door, because the guy managed to open the vault door with those tools in the time that it takes for all that shit to happen.
Vault, it takes 120 minutes on average to break into a Class 3 vault, but we'll assume the Joker has hired some sort of safe-cracking genius for this job, and that he knows exactly what...
Well, actually, I don't think he hired a safe-cracking genius, since the guy gets electrocuted during the thing, but he hired a guy who knew how to use the tools and to open the vault door, and who could manage to open the vault door with those tools.
What safe the mob bank uses. In the movie, the safecracker breaks into the vault in exactly 2 minutes, despite the fact...
How do you know exactly 2 minutes? The scene is edited. You know, you don't even know how long those people have been in there. You can't say that for certain. Let me go back to
911 was trying to reach a private number.
Is it a problem?
Yeah, so if I...
On the ground! Stay on the ground! Nobody make a move! Nobody! Stay down! They wired this thing up.
Okay. So, you can't know that the drilling into the vault door took exactly 2 minutes, because the scene where he actually sets up the drill and starts drilling into the vault door starts at 3:11 in the movie. Around 3:16, there's a cut to where the guy shoots at the Joker and the other bank robber. Then I skipped to around 4 minutes, and somewhere around 4 minutes into the movie, that's where another cut happens, and it cuts back to the guys in the vault, and the guy has already stopped drilling and is doing something else with the vault door, which is this scene right here that he shows.
Volt shock in the process.
Well, not this part, not the part where he gets shocked. That happened, but
what safe the mob bank uses. In the movie, the safecracker breaks into the vault in exactly...
This part. This is when he's already done drilling. This happened, and this is the part where you just saw the guy running in. That is where the cut happens. The cut happens before that scene starts. So you don't know that exactly you don't know how long this bank heist took to accomplish. So you can't say that. You can't say that.
Despite the fact that he receives a 5,000 volt shock in the process.
You also don't know the volt of the shock, so shut the fuck up.
I'm no safe expert, but it does seem to me that there's a good chance that breaking into this vault will take too long, and the mob or the cops...
And you don't know that because the scene shows you that it didn't take that long to open the vault door.
...will show up before...
And they had different tools than traditional locksmiths. They had a fucking drill and some electrical equipment.
...the crew can get to the money. Next, the safecracker has to be taken out. Same potential snags as with the murder of the alarm guy.
No.
With the added probability that the safecracker would have figured out by now that he...
You don't know who the fucking safecracker is, so you don't know what you don't have any clue what he could figure out. You don't know him. He could be stupid for all we know. He could have a disability. We don't know that. I mean, it's a stupid argument. I'm making a stupid argument, but for the examples, stupid examples, but you don't know what's going on with any of these characters. You don't know anything about them. They have no names. They're wearing masks, and there's no backstory to them. You don't know what they could or could not figure out. So stop assuming shit.
He is himself going to be killed once he is no longer of use. By having him killed as soon as the vault is open, the Joker is also assuming there won't be any additional locks to deal with inside the vault. Now,
yes, clearly he's assuming that, or he knows that because he studied the vault, and you can see that there are no additional security measures inside the vault. It's just this vault door.
one bagman has to fill 8 bags with money
Look,
and take them.
This security door isn't even closed. Probably because the bank doesn't get robbed. Or when it does get robbed, they stop the robbery before it gets to this point. So, they're complacent. You don't know that, but clearly no extra security, so you can't say that either.
Lobby. Bags of money are always light in movies. In reality, they are very heavy. So loading and
Even if they're heavy, well, which it's fucking cash, Here's a bunch of fucking cash. Okay, but you can clearly see
inside the vault
that
now,
these
one bagman
guys
has to fill 8 bags
look,
with money and take them to the lobby. Bags of money.
as you can see, they're clearly lifting up the bags almost like they're weightless, or at least weigh a bit, and he just starts throwing it to them. They're carrying them around easily. And plus, even if they were heavy, the fucking bank robbers have carry duffel bags all the time. People carry duffel bags all the time, especially in bank robberies, bro. There are realistic bank robbery movies where they're fucking carrying duffel bags full of money. I mean, come on. You know what? I want to Google this. Oh, okay. So duffel bags are actually heavy. $1 million apparently weighs approximately 22 pounds. And considering that we don't know how much money, hold on, I gotta find my way back here. Considering we don't know how much money is in these duffel bags, we don't know what kind of duffel bags they are, and they're carrying them pretty easily, we can't assume anything about their weight and how hard it would be for them to carry them. But considering the scene shows us that they're carrying the duffel bags pretty easily, relatively easily, we don't know how hard it is for them to carry, but considering that, you can assume that they're light enough for them to carry them and haul them into the bus.
Money are always light in movies. In reality, they are very heavy. So loading and moving the bags is actually going to take a while. Time during which something could easily go wrong, especially since the Joker...
And look how many duffel bags they have. So clearly there's some money, there might be some money distribution there so that, they can, carry pieces of their loot at a time, without being affected by weight.
Is now the only crew member holding down the lobby. The last part of this heist before the bus arrives would involve, according to the Joker's original plan, killing the gunman and the bagman. But the gunman was killed by the hero manager, so it's just the bagman. The director, Christopher Nolan, at least respects the audience's intelligence enough to know that we expect the bagman to have figured out the Joker's murderous intentions by now, and so Nolan allows for this.
I'm betting the Joker told you to kill me as soon as we loaded the cash.
The problem is, why doesn't the bagman just kill the Joker? He has just ruthlessly murdered the safecracker. That's almost certainly not his first murder, so why does he hesitate?
Well, because he's a fucking monologuing, dude. He does that when he killed the safecracker too. He was talking before he executed the safecracker, and he's talking before he was going, and he's talking now before he's going to shoot the Joker. But he took too long talking because the bus driver killed him, or, at least knocked him down before, blah, blah, blah.
To kill this last crew member who means nothing to him. If an experienced criminal seriously thought his life was in danger here, he wouldn't waste time asking questions, he would just shoot the guy immediately. The Joker killing the bagman is the least likely of the 3 kills to come off smoothly, but it is still likely he'll be able to do it, assuming, of course, that this impressively bad plan has gone according to...
Actually, you're the guy with the impressively bad plan. Because, your video kind of sucks, dude.
The Joker's optimistic projections up to this point. So the bus arrives and kills the bagman. The Joker, of course, knowing exactly when and where the bus would arrive because this movie is a dark, grounded, gritty, and realistic take on the comic book genre. The bus arriving at the right time is a huge gamble. The most obvious potential problem is that it will get caught in traffic, or the
Joker knew the area, told where the bus driver should lay and wait, like maybe an alley nearby. You don't know where the bus is. The bus is a twist, nothing is explained or shown about the bus. So the bus could be anywhere in Gotham. You don't know when the bus is arrived. Maybe the bus is just around the corner and the Joker told him, arrive at this time, between this time and this time.
The driver miscalculates how long it will take to drive to the bank and leaves too early or too late. Next, the Joker and the bus driver have to load the money. This seems like an easy task, but in fact their attention is taken away from everyone in the bank while
they're all holding grenades that they think are live and will kill them if they let go. Plus, the gunman, the only gunman in the building, and the security guard, well, I shouldn't say only gunman, but the gunman, the mob gunman, and the security guard are apprehended / incapacitated. So, at this point, they have no reason to think that they would be interrupted by any heroes, especially since all the people are holding grenades that they think are going to blow up in their faces.
As they are doing this, the Joker is extremely vulnerable here. Someone who had been hiding up to this point could trigger the alarm, make a phone call, or, if it's a mob employee, shoot the Joker while his back is turned. Or cops could run in the front door while the Joker's busy loading. Employee should have been hiding up to this point while they are doing this. The Joker is extremely vulnerable here. Someone who had been hiding up to this point.
That already happened with the fucking mob gunman coming out and attacking them before they even finished getting through the vault. This is a dumb point.
Could trigger the alarm, make a phone call, or, if it's a mob employee.
And it's not hard for the Joker to do some fucking research and realize and know like how this shit works, like how the security works, how the police respond. You didn't take any of that into consideration, and you're just pulling this out of your ass.
Shoot the Joker while his back is turned, or cops could run in the front door while the Joker's busy loading the money. Shooting the bus driver should be easy enough. The only possible issue is that the bus driver may have had plans of his own. Driving the bus up.
Well, that doesn't matter because he gets fucking shot. That literally doesn't make zero sense. Yeah, he could have had plans for his own, for the money, but that's not going to happen because he got shot. You literally showed the scene where the Joker killed him. That's stupid.
Out of the bank shouldn't be a problem as long as the Joker knows how to drive a bus, and the cops haven't arrived yet, though it is.
The cops are right here. That's how long it took for them to arrive. It's because it's Gotham.
It's hard to imagine that no one would have called the cops after seeing a bus drive into a bank building. Getting away in a massive, slow, very visible vehicle is not likely. We are expected to believe that the Joker has timed it so that the bus pulls out of the bank at the...
Yes, we're expected to believe because it's shown that way. and it's how
Very
he
moment
gets
a
away with
long
it.
row of school buses is passing by. In the likely event he doesn't pull out at exactly the right moment to blend into these buses, he might still be able to blend his bus into the traffic if the police are not yet aware that a school bus is
Which they're not going to be, because the bus was a surprise move from the Joker.
the getaway vehicle, and that's a big if.
It's not a big if. No, you're just making assumptions.
Blend into these buses, he might still be able to blend his bus into the traffic if the police are not yet aware that a school bus is the getaway vehicle, and that's a big if.
And I'll tell you why it's not a big if, because the Gotham police are incompetent and corrupt as fuck.
The timing of everything has to match up, and the Joker has to be very lucky for nothing to go wrong.
He doesn't have to be very lucky, because as you can see, he knew what the fuck he was doing, and he planned it out that way to do the fucking job the way it happened.
In this complicated plan, bank heist is unrealistic to the point of absurdity.
It's not unrealistic. What's unrealistic is the fact that your video is like full of people like saying, you know, oh, this video is so smart, you know, he's making so much sense, when all you've done the entire fucking time is say, oh, well, this is what would have happened if everything went wrong, and that means that means this plan is terrible, and the Joker didn't know what he's doing. Even though you did not provide any proof, you did not explain any of your probabilities. You gave examples for your probabilities, but did not explain them. You didn't explain any of the percentages. You do not have any proof for any of the claims you make. Your claims are baseless, and you clearly don't know where the bank heist is taking place. You don't know anything about Gotham, because you make claims that contradict Gotham, and this movie is based in Gotham, which is a place from the comics and is heavily explored.
It takes place in a bubble disconnected from the outside world.
No.
No one seems to mind the three-armed masked men running into a
Because it's Gotham.
bank. No one seems bothered by the zip line leading onto the bank.
Who's gonna fucking notice that? The fucking single car down there?
Three-armed masked men running into a bank. No one
And
seems
the
bothered by
fucking,
zip line leading
the
onto
fucking
bank.
a truck, that was the yellow truck right there, or that car? Have you ever been to a fucking a busy street? You don't fucking randomly look up at the top at large buildings while you're driving, and even if a passenger noticed it, they're not gonna be like, oh, those guys are gonna rob the bank. They're gonna see the zip line and be like, oh cool, those guys are zip lining across buildings. I wonder what they're doing. Huh, well, I can't do anything about it. I'm just gonna sit in this car and wait until we get to our destination.
Bank roof. No one outside the bank hears any of the many gunshots. No one walks.
It's Gotham. Gunshots are pretty much a daily occurrence, dude. Gun violence is all over Gotham, bro. It's a fact.
into the bank during the heist, and they could. The crew doesn't lock the door on their way in. No one calls the cops after a bus drives.
The cops were called because they arrived, but they take forever to arrive. I don't know why I said ride. They take forever to arrive, and clearly the Joker knew that, and he also he delayed the arrival of the cops by having the person hack into the silent alarm. So the Joker knew what he was doing, and clearly he researched when the cops would arrive, because that's something you can do.
Into a bank building or at any other point during this robbery. The Joker's heist has the appearance of being genius because it is intricate and complex and has many twists and turns.
Well, clearly it's so intricate and complex that you don't understand any of it, and you're just making basic claims in order to appear smart on the internet and say, oh, well, clearly everybody's saying this a genius plan is genius, but it's not actually genius, and I'm gonna tell you by making shit up and not doing any research.
That all need to happen at just the precise moment for it all to come together. But that is exactly why it is such a terrible plan. It's far too complicated. It has too many moving parts.
Just because it's complicated and has many moving parts does not make it a terrible plan. if you know exactly how those parts are moving, if you can predict how they will move, you can plan around those moving parts. And clearly, the Joker planned around those moving parts because he managed to manipulate them into doing as he desired, which is what this scene shows you.
It relies on too many things happening at exactly the right time. Far too much is left up to chance. The Joker...
None of it is left up to chance, and you're just assuming it does with nothing to back it up.
Awful planning isn't just a problem for the scene itself, it's a problem for the Joker's character development. He's supposed to be a criminal mastermind.
They want you to believe he's a criminal mastermind, so they show you how he's a criminal mastermind, and then you come along and say, well, actually, he's not a criminal mastermind because so many things could have gone wrong. And the fact that it didn't is because he doesn't, he's
This scene is intended to show off his strategic brilliance, but when I watch it, all I see is an amazingly dumb plan put together by someone who clearly doesn't have much, if any.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video. Maybe I'll see what else he has to say. There's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes left, but all you've done this entire video is say what could have gone wrong, made up some probabilities for how probable those things could have gone wrong, and then you say, and then said, this is why this plan is terrible. You have proven jack shit.
Any experience in criminal endeavors. That is not to say this isn't a brilliant scene. It is.
It's a brilliant scene and a brilliant plan that worked in Joker's favor.
It's very entertaining, well shot, well acted, fun, dramatic, tense, and cool. And the Joker reveal at the end is deservedly iconic. But we should bear in mind that we are watching a comic book movie here.
Yes, you should remember that. But something you don't take into account.
Dark Knight is often thought of as a more realistic, down-to-earth and gritty take on the Batman franchise, but there is nothing grounded or realistic about this.
Okay, just because everything can go wrong, it's not grounded and realistic. Everything can go wrong. Hundreds of millions, no, impossible and unquantifiable things happen all the time that could go wrong. A plane could fall onto your house. That doesn't mean it's unrealistic. It just means it's highly unlikely, but that it's still possible. You're just making stuff up.
This scene, and indeed the entire movie, requires just as much suspension of disbelief as the Batman movies of the 90s. If this bank heist was presented to the audience on...
No, it requires a little bit of thinking and a little bit of, it requires no hand-holding. I hate when critics, do this, because you'll have movie critics that talk about movies, criticize scenes, for not holding your hand and explaining every single little detail of how something was done, which would bog down the movie and make the movie terrible. Just because they didn't explain how the Joker managed to research all this stuff, managed to pull off this heist, doesn't mean it's impossible or that it's a terrible plan. It just means that you have no imagination and no research and can't think of how he could have done this.
Paper, it would become clear immediately that it's a terrible plan that will almost certainly fail. Alright boys, we're gonna hit this bank. You'll be a 5-man team, so you're coming. No, you'll meet the 5th man on the street outside just before you enter the bank. Hey, I'm not doing a job with a guy I never seen. He could be a fucking Fed for all I know.
Fuck that. Don't be such a fucking pussy.
What's this 5th guy look like? He's about my height and size, and his hair is almost identical to mine. Safecracker and alarm guy, you'll...
Clearly, the Joker didn't fucking, show himself to the fucking... Clearly, they didn't all just sit around the table with the Joker standing there and being like, and explaining shit like a fucking classic heist movie. Because they don't know who the Joker is. They don't know what he looks like, what he sounds like. They don't know anything about the Joker because the Joker kept his identity secret.
Zipline onto the bank roof from the 25th floor of a building across the street, but I've never ziplined before. I don't even know how to...
Fuck that.
That's a lie, because the scene clearly shows you that they know how to zip line, and the Joker would have found somebody who knows how to zip line.
Don't be such a fucking pussy.
Once you get onto the roof, break open the electrical mains box and disable the alarm. Bagman and Gunman, while they're doing that, you take control of the bank, put a grenade in everyone's hands, and pull the pin so they have to hold on. How do we actually enter the bank? You park your car outside, then run across the sidewalk and enter through the front door. Make sure you have your masks on and guns at the ready before you enter the bank. But what if someone sees us and calls the cops?
Fuck that. Don't be such a fucking pussy.
So after you take control of the lobby, Bagman heads to the vault. Once Safecracker cracks it, load the bags with money and put them in a big pile at the far end of the lobby near the rear doors. It's gonna take a while to load that much cash. What if the cops show up while we're loading the bags?
Fuck that.
And why are we taking the money to the back door? The car's gonna be parked outside the front door.
Fuck that.
Once we have the bags loaded, then we jump back into the car, escape, and divvy up the loot. What about this fifth guy? Why is he in on it? What do we need him for? He's a stick-up man. How about Bagman stays downstairs and sticks the place up, while Alarm Guy and Safecracker load the bags? That way we don't need to bring another guy in on the job.
Fuck that.
I'm just saying, if we...
Don't be such a fucking pussy.
So that's the plan. Any questions? No? Good. We hit the bank tomorrow. Now, before we all break for the day and go home and don't say anything to anyone about this, I have a special secret task for two of you. Safecracker and Bagman. I'll speak to each of you privately in that room over there. Hey, hold on a minute. Wait.
Fuck that.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe.
So that was, you know, the clearly very satirical, you know, take, but it's completely ignoring it is a satire on stuff that on a straw man. It's making fun of a straw man. Does that make any sense? He's using facts. He's using he's basing the satire on wrong information that he made up himself. So, you know, while I understand that satire, it's still completely fucking wrong.
And don't forget that whatever doesn't kill the like button only makes it.
Yeah, and that's the end of his video. Okay. So, as you can see, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He makes up shit, doesn't explain anything, you know, probabilities this, probabilities that, what if that, without actually understanding the fucking scene, the film, the setting it's taking place in, anything about it. It's a shitty fucking video. I hate it. You know, no hate to the guy who made it, you know, but like, I hate the video because it's so annoyingly stupid. Peace.